In the dead of night, Offset drops a bombshell Instagram live that explodes the internet like a grenade in the middle of a Migos concert. Lil Tjay out here saying I snitched? Nah, fam, you got me twisted. He snarls into the camera, eyes blazing with that signature Atlanta fire. Voice cracking just enough to show the rage boiling underneath. But wait, Lil Tjay had already lit the fuse hours earlier, leaking a cryptic voice note to his close circle that somehow hit the streets. Offset folded. He the one who ran his mouth to them feds back in 22. That's why the whole block went quiet. Fans are losing their minds. Twitter is on fire. Hashtag Offset Snitched is trending worldwide with millions of posts in under an hour. Memes flooding in of Offset in handcuffs. Photoshop next to FBI agents. But this ain't just rap talk. This hits different. Sources close to the camp are whispering that TJ's claim stems from a botched deal gone wrong. A street favor that turned into a federal nightmare. And now Offset is firing back with receipts that could bury careers. Imagine the tension. Offset pacing his mansion in Buckhead, phone blowing up with calls from Quavo and Takeoff's ghost still haunting every verse. You think I'm a rat? I built empires while you was still in diapers. He yells, veins popping, as his wife Cardi B storms in the background, screaming for him to hang up before it gets uglier. But the real bomb? Insiders say this snitch accusation isn't new. It's tied to a secret meeting last summer where TJ allegedly confronted Offset over a stolen beat and a missing bag of cash that landed someone in Rikers. Emotions are running nuclear, family lines are drawn, friends are picking sides, and just when you think it can't get wilder, Offset teases the one thing nobody saw coming. Tomorrow, y'all get the full video. The one where TJ admits he was the one who talked first. Is this the end of hip-hop alliances as we know them? Or the start of a war that spills way beyond the booth? Buckle up, because the streets are talking, and the truth is about to hit harder than any diss track ever could. The drama exploded the moment Offset hit the Instagram live and the entire rap game felt the aftershock. Lil Tjay had just dropped that voice note claiming Offset snitched back in 2022 and now Offset was not holding back. You could see the fury in his eyes as he stared straight into the camera, his voice shaking with raw emotion. This ain't no regular beef, this is personal and it cuts deep into the streets where loyalty means everything. Offset leaned in closer, his gold chains swinging as he spoke. I built this game from nothing while you was still trying to find your flow, TJ. You out here calling me a rat, but everybody knows who really folded when the pressure came. Fans watching this live were screaming in the comment section, shocked beyond words. How could two artists who once showed each other love turn on each other like this? The accusations flew fast and heavy. Lil Tjay had claimed that Offset gave up information during a federal investigation that left several key figures locked up, and the whole Atlanta circle went silent for months. Offset wasn't done though. He pulled out his phone right there on live and started reading old text messages, screenshots flashing on the screen for everyone to see. Look at this right here, he said, his voice rising. TJ texting me in 2021 begging for help with that situation in the Bronx. I helped you, fam, I put my name on the line and now you flipping the script. The chat went crazy. Some fans defended Offset, calling TJ ungrateful, while others sided with the younger rapper, saying the streets don't lie. Emotions ran high as old friends from both camps started posting cryptic messages on their stories. Quavo even liked a tweet that read "Real ones don't snitch," and that sent the internet into overdrive. As the live continued, Offset walked through his massive Buckhead mansion, the camera shaking slightly from how fired up he was. Cardi B could be heard in the background yelling, "Baby, calm down before you say something you regret," but Offset was too deep in the moment. "This ain't about music no more," he shouted. "This about trust and family and the code we live by. Lil Tjay, you opened a door that you can't close." The family was left divided. Offset's mother posted a simple heart emoji on Instagram, but insiders say she called Cardi later that night crying, asking what was really going on. On the other side, TJAY's crew stayed silent at first, then one of his close associates dropped a short video saying the betrayal felt personal because these two had history. Back in the day, Offset had mentored Lil Tjay during a tough time when the younger artist was coming up after his own legal troubles. They shared stages, they shared late-night studio sessions, and they even talked about linking their crews for a joint project that never happened. Now all that goodwill was shattered. Fans were shocked to see how quickly things turned. Twitter timelines filled with old photos of them smiling together, now captioned with snake emojis and question marks. One viral thread broke down every interaction between them over the years, pointing out subtle signs of tension that nobody noticed before. Offset kept going, pacing faster now. "You think you can just accuse me and walk away clean," he said, directly addressing TJ. "I got the messages, I got the voice notes, and I got people ready to talk." The live hit over 200,000 viewers in minutes, and the numbers kept climbing. People were calling their friends to tune in, saying, "You gotta see this." The tension was thick, you could almost feel it through the screen. Then came the first twist that nobody expected. Offset revealed that the so-called snitching incident wasn't about him at all. According to him, Lil Tjay had been the one talking to investigators after a bad deal involving stolen jewelry and some underground connections that went wrong. He claimed Tjay panicked and pointed fingers to save himself, leaving others to take the fall. You hear that? Tjay. Offset continued, his tone getting more intense. You the one who ran to them people when shit got hot. I stayed solid, I took meetings, I made calls to keep everybody safe. Now you want to rewrite history. The reactions poured in immediately. Cardi B finally stepped into the frame, looking stressed but supportive. She placed a hand on Offset's shoulder and said loud enough for the mic to catch it, "We built this together, nobody gonna tear us down with lies." That moment humanized the whole situation, showing the personal stakes involved. Offset's kids were mentioned indirectly as he talked about protecting his legacy for them. The family drama was real and it was playing out in public for millions to see. Meanwhile, across the city in New York, Lil Tjay was reportedly watching the live with his team. Sources close to him say he laughed at first but then got quiet, his face turning serious. He allegedly told his people Offset is panicking because the truth is about to drop. That set up the next wave of chaos. Within 30 minutes, Tjay posted a simple Instagram story, a black screen with white text that read, "Keep watching, the movie unfolds soon." Fans were on edge waiting for more. The beef had moved from words to a full-blown public spectacle and nobody knew where it would end. Old rivals from the industry started chiming in, some siding with Offset because of his longevity in the game, others backing Tjay as the voice of the new generation. The emotional conflicts ran deep. Offset spoke about the sleepless nights after the original investigation, how he had to reassure his family that everything would be okay. He mentioned how accusations like this could destroy careers and tear apart friendships that took years to build. Lil Tjay, on the other hand, was dealing with his own demons, having survived a near-fatal shooting years ago and now facing these claims that questioned his integrity. Both men had everything to lose: their reputations, their businesses, and the respect of the streets they came from. Friends were caught in the middle. One mutual collaborator posted a long caption saying, "I love both my brothers, but this needs to stop before it gets dangerous." That post only added fuel as fans accused him of being fake for not picking a side. As Offset wrapped up the live, he dropped one last bomb. "Tomorrow night, same time, I am going deeper," he said. "And Tjay, if you man enough, pull up and let's talk face to face, no internet cap." The challenge hung in the air like smoke after a gunshot. The internet was buzzing with predictions. Would they really meet? Would it turn physical, or would more evidence drop first? The personal stakes were enormous. Offset had his empire with Cardi and the kids to protect, while Lil Tjay was still building his name, trying to prove he belonged at the top. The family was left divided, not just their blood families but the entire hip-hop community, feeling the ripple effects. This was only the beginning though, because as the live ended and Offset logged off, a new message popped up from an unknown account. It was a short audio clip of what sounded like Lil Tjay laughing and saying, "Offset always been soft when the real pressure hits." That clip spread like wildfire and the drama was far from over. Fans stayed glued to their phones, refreshing feeds, waiting for the next move. The accusations, the betrayals, and the raw emotions had everyone hooked, and the story was just getting started. The rap world held its breath because when loyalty breaks in these streets, the fallout can change everything. Offset later that night reportedly called a private meeting with his inner circle where voices were raised and old secrets started surfacing. Cardi tried to mediate, but even she was emotional, telling him to think about their children before going any further. On the flip side, Lil Tjay was said to be in his studio with producers replaying the live and plotting his response. The tension between the two camps grew thicker with each passing hour. Friends who once partied together now found themselves choosing sides, and the divide was painful to watch. This beef had layers: family, loyalty, street code, and the pressure of fame all crashing together in one explosive moment. The public watched mesmerized as two artists laid their souls bare, and the consequences promised to be massive. The night was young, but the damage was already done and the real twists were still coming. The story took another turn when a former associate of both artists reached out to a popular podcast host saying he had information that could change everything. He claimed to have been in the room during the original 2022 meetings and knew exactly who said what to the authorities. That teaser alone sent fans into a frenzy with speculations running wild. Was this person about to expose Offset or confirm Tjay's claims, or maybe reveal something even bigger that involved other big names in the industry? The emotional weight of the situation pressed down on everyone involved. Offset posted a simple selfie after the live with the caption "solid as a rock," and that image of his determined face went viral. Lil Tjay responded with a story of himself in the booth captioned "Real ones move in silence." The battle lines were drawn and the rap game would never be the same after this night. The drama was real, the stakes were high, and the world was watching every single second. The next morning, the internet was still on fire from Offset's explosive live, and the tension had only grown thicker. Lil Tjay wasted no time firing back, dropping a 10-minute voice note that circulated everywhere from group chats to Reddit threads. His voice was calm but sharp as he addressed the camera indirectly, saying, "Offset, you talking big on live, but you know the truth hit different when the lights are off. I never said you snitched to save yourself, I said you gave them names when they squeezed you in that room back in 2022. The whole industry went quiet after that, and you know why." Fans were shocked all over again as the voice note spread like wildfire. Comments flooded in with people saying TJ sounds too confident, he must have something real. Others defended Offset, calling the younger rapper a clout chaser who was trying to stay relevant after his last album underperformed. The family drama escalated quickly when Cardi B took to her own Instagram stories, posting a series of angry emojis followed by a short video of her and Offset together with their kids in the background. She captioned it, "Protect your peace and your people, period." That move divided fans even more, some praising Cardi for standing by her man while others accused her of enabling toxic behavior in the rap community. Meanwhile, Offset was not sitting idle. He scheduled another Instagram live for that evening, promising even more receipts, and this time he brought in a surprise guest, one of his longtime managers who had been in the game since the early Migos days. The live started with Offset looking more composed, but the fire in his eyes was still there. He started by playing parts of TJAY's voice note and pausing it at key moments to break it down. "Listen to this," he said, his voice rising again. "He talking about 2022, but he conveniently forgets that he was the one calling me every day begging for connections when his own situation got hot. I helped you eat, TJ, and this how you repay me." The manager nodded in the background, adding his own details about late-night calls and meetings where TJ allegedly asked for favors that involved moving certain things under the radar. The emotional conflicts deepened as Offset opened up about the personal toll this was taking. He spoke directly to the camera, saying, "I got kids watching this, man. I got a wife who don't deserve to see our family name dragged through the mud because some young nigga wanna rewrite history. My mama called me crying last night asking if it's true, and I had to tell her the same thing I am telling y'all. I stayed solid." That raw admission hit hard with fans, many of whom posted videos of themselves tearing up, saying this beef is hurting real people. On the other side of the city, Lil Tjay was reportedly watching with his team, and sources say he slammed his fist on the table when Offset mentioned the favors. One insider claimed Tjay muttered he lying through his teeth, and that set the stage for the next twist. Just as the live was hitting peak viewership, a new audio clip surfaced anonymously on Twitter. It sounded like a heated phone conversation between Offset and someone who many believed was Tjay. In the clip, Offset could be heard saying, "Look, I ain't trying to go down for this, you handle your part and he'll handle mine." The voice on the other end replied something muffled, but the words federal and names were clear enough to spark wild speculation. Fans went crazy analyzing the audio, trying to match voices and timelines. Some experts even weighed in on rap forums, saying the recording seemed authentic, while others called it fake and edited. The betrayal felt even deeper now because if the clip was real, it suggested both men had been playing a dangerous game behind the scenes. As the drama unfolded, reactions poured in from all corners of the industry. Quavo posted a cryptic tweet saying family over everything, but blood ain't always family, and that left everyone guessing which side he was really on. Takeoff's memory was invoked multiple times, with old clips resurfacing of the Migos together and fans mourning how the group had fractured over the years. Lil Tjay's own family got involved when his mother liked a comment defending her son, saying, "My baby ain't no liar." That simple like sent waves through the community, with people saying the mamas are now in it and things are about to get messier. The personal stakes were undeniable. Offset was fighting to protect his legacy, his marriage, and his brand deals, while Lil Tjay was battling to clear his name after years of being seen as the good kid who survived the streets. Both had everything to lose, and the public was eating it up. The second twist hit later that night when a former associate known only as Slim came forward on a popular YouTube channel. Slim claimed he was in the room during the original meetings in 2022 and he had receipts of his own. According to him, Lil Tjay had indeed talked, first panicking after a bad deal involving some high-profile jewelry that belonged to a connect both artists knew. Slim described how Tjay allegedly pointed fingers at Offset to shift the blame, saying Offset was the one with the bigger name and bigger mouth. But then Slim dropped the real bomb. He said Offset did eventually give up some information, not out of fear but as part of a calculated move to protect his own circle. The interview went viral instantly with millions of views in hours, and the rap world was left reeling. Fans were shocked, saying this changes everything. Who was really the snitch now? The accusations flew back and forth, with both camps denying parts of the story while confirming others. Offset responded quickly by going live again, this time from his car driving through Atlanta at night. His voice was hoarse from all the talking, but the passion was still there. "Slim talking crazy," he said, "but everybody knows Slim been bitter since I cut him off years ago. TJU using old grudges to build your narrative, but the streets know the truth." He then played another old voice note, this one from Tjay thanking Offset for helping him out of a tight spot after his shooting recovery. "See this," Offset continued, "you was grateful then, now you acting brand new. The live chat was a battlefield with fans arguing in real time, some calling for peace while others demanded more evidence. The family was left divided even within Offset's own household, as Cardi reportedly argued with him later that night about bringing the kids into the spotlight indirectly. She was heard saying in a background clip, "We gotta think about the babies, Offset, this ain't just your fight anymore." On Lil Tjay's end, the pressure was mounting too. His team allegedly held an emergency meeting where voices were raised and old contracts were reviewed, looking for any connection that could tie back to the original investigation. TJ himself posted a short video from the studio looking intense, saying, "I ain't the one who ran to the feds, Offset, you did, and the proof is coming." That teaser kept everyone on edge, waiting for the next drop. The emotional weight was heavy on both sides. Offset spoke about the sleepless nights, worrying about how this would affect his children and his relationship with Cardi. Lil Tjay, on the other hand, was dealing with flashbacks to his own legal troubles and the shooting that nearly took his life. Both men were fighting not just for their careers but for their identities as street-credible artists in a game that punished any sign of weakness. As the night wore on, more voices joined the chorus. A popular female rapper who had collaborated with both dropped a subtle diss in her stories, saying real queens don't stand by rats, and that was widely seen as a shot at Cardi. Another veteran from Atlanta posted a long paragraph praising Offset's hustle but warning that snitching allegations could end careers faster than any bullet. The industry was split down the middle, with some big names staying silent, probably hoping the storm would pass. But the storm was only growing. A new development emerged when a lawyer connected to the original case reportedly reached out to both camps offering mediation, but insiders say both sides refused, wanting to settle it in the court of public opinion first. The betrayals, the heated arguments, and the raw emotions had turned this into more than a beef. It was a full-blown saga that had the entire hip-hop community holding its breath. The personal conflicts reached a boiling point when Offset received a private message from TJ that somehow leaked online. In the message, TJ allegedly wrote, "You really want to do this in front of the world, or you want to meet and talk like men?" Offset replied publicly on his story with a simple voice note saying, "Name the time and place, I am there." That exchange sent fans into a frenzy, speculating about a possible face-to-face confrontation. Would it be a peaceful sit-down, or would emotions run so high that things turned physical? The family drama intensified as Offset's mother posted a prayer emoji and Cardi shared a photo of their family saying, "God got us." On TJAY's side, his sister liked several comments supporting her brother, adding another layer of personal stakes to the mix. The rap game felt like a pressure cooker ready to explode, and everyone was watching to see who would crack first. This chapter of the drama showed just how deep the roots of the conflict went. It wasn't just about one accusation, it was about years of favors owed, unspoken resentments, and the harsh reality of street life meeting fame. Fans continued to pick sides, forming factions online with hashtags like Team Offset and Team TJ trending simultaneously. The unexpected twists kept coming, with new audios, old texts, and surprise interviews dropping almost hourly. The emotional toll was visible on both artists' faces in their posts and lives. Offset looked exhausted but determined, while Lil Tjay appeared calm but coiled like a spring ready to release. The world waited anxiously for the next move, knowing that whatever came next could either heal the divide or shatter alliances forever. The streets were talking, the families were hurting, and the hip-hop world was forever changed by this one explosive claim that refused to die down. The saga continued with no end in sight, and the biggest revelations were still waiting in the wings. As dawn approached after another sleepless night for fans and insiders alike, a new video surfaced from a neutral party, a well-known music executive who had worked with both. He urged calm, saying these young kings need to remember where they came from and not let the industry pit them against each other. But his words fell on deaf ears as both sides dug in deeper, preparing for round 3 of this public war. The betrayals felt fresher, the accusations sharper, and the personal stakes higher than ever. This was no longer just rap, this was real life with real consequences, and the drama was far from over. The next twist promised to be even more explosive as hidden truths began to surface and loyalties were tested like never before. The rap community stood divided, watching two talented artists fight for their truth in the most public way possible, and the outcome remained uncertain but undeniably captivating. The drama hit a fever pitch as the sun rose over Atlanta and New York, with both camps refusing to back down. Offset scheduled yet another late-night live, this time from a private studio setup with dim lights and a serious expression that told everyone he meant business. He started slow, letting the tension build before dropping the heaviest bomb yet. "I got the actual documents from 2022, he said, holding up what looked like scanned papers, blurred just enough to tease but clear enough to show official seals. "TJ, you claimed I snitched, but these papers show you were the one who sat down first and gave them a roadmap to the whole circle." Fans watching live were glued to their screens, typing furiously in the comments, shocked at how official it all looked. The accusations had now moved from words to potential legal territory, and the stakes climbed even higher. Cardi B sat beside him, this time fully in frame, looking fierce and protective. She leaned toward the camera and spoke with fire in her voice. Listen TJ, my husband built you up when nobody else would, and this is how you repay the family. We got kids, Offset got businesses, and you out here trying to paint him as a rat for clout. Her words carried weight because everyone knew Cardi did not play about her man or her family. The live exploded with reactions, some fans praising her loyalty while others accused her of turning a street issue into a reality show. The family was left even more divided as Offset's relatives started commenting on posts supporting him, and TJAY's inner circle fired back with memes calling the whole thing a scripted distraction. Emotions ran high as old friends from both sides began unfollowing each other on social media, the silent treatment speaking louder than any diss track. Meanwhile, Lil Tjay was in his New York studio with his team huddled around a laptop watching Offset's live in real time. Sources close to him say he laughed bitterly at first, then got deadly serious, telling his people time to end this. Within minutes, TJ went live himself from a dimly lit room, looking straight into the lens with calm intensity. Offset, you waving papers, but you forgot I got the real recordings, he said, pulling out his phone and playing a short clip. The audio featured a voice that sounded exactly like Offset saying during what seemed like a stressful phone call, I ain't going down alone, if they ask me I am, pointing where I need to. The clip was short but damaging, and the internet lost its mind once again. Fans were shocked, saying both of them sound guilty, now what? The twist left everyone questioning who was really telling the truth and who was editing clips to fit their narrative. The betrayal cut deeper because the two had shared vulnerable moments in the past. Offset once talked publicly about mentoring TJ after the younger rapper survived that brutal shooting, reminding him to stay solid in the game. Now those memories were weaponized as TJ fired back, saying, you mentored me into what exactly? A position where I had to watch my back from my own people. The personal stakes were massive. Offset was fighting to keep his marriage intact, his brand deals flowing, and his children shielded from the headlines, while Lil Tjay was battling to maintain his street credibility after years of being labeled the comeback kid. Both men had poured their souls into their music, and now that foundation was cracking under the weight of these snitch allegations. Friends caught in the middle were reaching out privately trying to mediate, but the egos and the emotions made peace feel impossible. As the dueling lives continued, a surprise call came through on Offset's stream. It was a well-known Atlanta producer who had worked with both artists. He sounded nervous but determined, saying, fellas, this needs to stop before somebody gets hurt for real. I was in the studio when y'all laughed about that situation back then. Nobody was snitching, we were just trying to eat. His words brought a momentary pause, but Offset quickly countered, saying, exactly, we were eating, until TJ got scared and started talking. The producer sighed, visibly torn between loyalty and the truth, adding, I love both y'all, but the streets remember everything. That intervention only added fuel as fans picked apart every word, trying to decide whose side the producer was really on. The family drama spilled over when TJAY's sister posted a throwback photo of her brother in the hospital after the shooting, captioned, he fought for his life, don't let them rewrite his story. Cardi responded with her own post of her family at a birthday party, saying, we fight for ours too. The next unexpected twist dropped like a hammer when a third party entered the fray, a former federal informant turned YouTube personality who claimed he had direct knowledge of the 2022 case. In a hastily recorded video, he alleged that both Offset and Lil Tjay had been approached by authorities, but only one had given up meaningful information. According to him, Offset initially stayed quiet but later cooperated on a limited basis to protect his immediate circle, while Tjay had blurted out names in a panic during his first interview. The video ended with the informant saying the full file is sealed, but the streets already know the real rat. This revelation sent shockwaves through the industry, with big names like Future and 21 Savage staying noticeably silent while smaller artists took sides publicly. Fans were divided into heated arguments across every platform, some saying the informant was paid off, others claiming he finally spoke the truth everyone was afraid to say. Offset ended his live with a direct challenge once again. TJ, if you really about this, pull up to the studio tomorrow, neutral ground, no cameras, just us, and let's clear it like men. The dare hung heavy in the air, and within the hour TJ accepted on his own live, saying, bet I am there, but bring your receipts because I am bringing mine. The possibility of a face-to-face meeting electrified the fanbase, with predictions ranging from a peaceful resolution to an all-out brawl. The emotional conflicts reached new heights as both artists posted stories showing them with their loved ones, Offset with his kids playing in the backyard and TJ with his mother at church. These human moments reminded everyone that behind the tough talk were real people with real families feeling the pressure. The rap community was left divided, mentors turning against mentees, brothers in the game becoming enemies, all because one accusation had snowballed into a full-scale war. Later that evening, a leaked group chat from a mutual friend surfaced showing heated exchanges between members of both teams. Messages flew back and forth, with one from Offset's side saying, y'all crossed the line, dragging family into this, and a reply from TJAY's camp reading, y'all started it by lying on his name. The leaks added another layer of betrayal, making the situation feel even more personal and messy. Cardi B reportedly called Tjay's mother directly trying to de-escalate, but the conversation allegedly ended in tears and raised voices, with both women defending their sons fiercely. The family was truly divided now, not just the artists themselves but the women and children behind them bearing the emotional weight. Insiders say Offset's team was working overtime to secure brand deals that were suddenly at risk, while Tjay's management pushed for more press to capitalize on the moment. As midnight approached, the drama took yet another turn when an old music video director who had filmed both artists together released never-before-seen behind-the-scenes footage. In the clips, Offset and Tjay could be seen laughing, joking about street life, and even hugging after a successful session. The director captioned the post, "This was before the poison got in." That nostalgic video hit fans hard, reminding them of better times and making the current feud feel even more tragic. Comments poured in saying bring them back together, while others insisted the trust was broken forever. The personal stakes continued to mount as both artists faced potential loss of collaborations, tours, and respect from the older generation who preached loyalty above all. Offset was heard telling a close friend in a private call that got leaked, "I ain't losing my family over this, but I won't let him paint me as weak either." Tjay, on the other hand, told his crew in a recorded meeting, "I am done being the nice guy, they want the real me now." The night ended with both men posting similar messages, Offset writing "loyalty is everything" and Tjay replying "but truth is heavier." The subtle shade kept the fire burning and fans stayed up refreshing feeds waiting for any new development. The heated arguments, the shocking accusations, and the deep emotional conflicts had turned this beef into must-watch entertainment for the entire culture. The rap game felt like it was at a crossroads, with this one situation threatening to expose deeper issues of trust and betrayal that many had swept under the rug for years. As the clock ticked toward the possible meetup, the world held its breath, knowing that whatever happened next could either mend fences or burn bridges that could never be rebuilt. The families waited anxiously, the fans speculated wildly, and the two artists prepared for a confrontation that carried the weight of their entire legacies. The saga had layers upon layers, and the next chapter promised revelations that could change the narrative forever. The following day, the anticipated meeting was confirmed to happen at a neutral studio in downtown Atlanta, with a small group of trusted mediators present. Security was tight and phones were supposedly collected at the door to prevent leaks, but somehow a short audio snippet still escaped. In the clip, raised voices could be heard, with Offset saying, "You really believed I would fold on my people?" and Tjay responding, "You did fold, that's why we here." The snippet spread instantly, causing another wave of speculation about whether the meeting had turned physical or if it was just raw emotion boiling over. Fans were shocked at how quickly things had escalated from social media jabs to an in-person showdown. The family drama continued as Cardi posted a prayer hands emoji, while Tjay's sister shared a story saying, "Pray for peace but stand on truth." The entire hip-hop world was captivated watching two stars fight, not just for their reputations but for the very idea of what loyalty meant in the streets versus the spotlight. This latest chapter revealed the true cost of the feud. Careers hung in the balance, friendships were shattered, and personal peace was disrupted for everyone involved. Offset spoke later in a controlled interview about the pain of being called a snitch, saying, "It cuts deeper than any knife because in our world once that label sticks it's hard to shake." Lil Tjay countered in his own "Sit Down," saying, "I ain't the villain here, I am just tired of the fake love." The emotional conflicts were laid bare for all to see, two men scarred by the game trying to protect their names while the public dissected every word. The betrayals felt endless as new old stories surfaced about favors gone wrong and promises broken. Yet in the midst of the chaos, a small group of elders in the industry began calling for a truce, reminding everyone that black men tearing each other down only helped outsiders. Whether those calls would be heeded remained to be seen, but the drama had already left permanent marks on the culture. The rap community stood at a tipping point, divided, hurt, and utterly hooked on the next twist in this sensational story of accusation, betrayal, and the fight for truth in the public eye. The families held their breath, the fans argued endlessly, and the two central figures prepared for whatever came next, knowing their words and actions would echo for years to come. The tension reached its absolute peak when Offset and Lil Tjay finally sat down face to face in that neutral Atlanta studio with only a handful of trusted mediators and no phones allowed. The air was thick with unspoken history as the two men stared each other down across the table. Offset spoke first, his voice low but steady. "Tjay, you really out here in these streets calling me a snitch after everything I did for you? I pulled you in when you was recovering from that shooting, I put money on your books, I connected you with real players. And now you flip the script like I was the one who ran to the feds." Lil Tjay leaned forward, eyes locked without blinking. "You talking about helping me, but you forgot the part where you told me to keep quiet, then turned around and gave them just enough to save your own neck. I got the proof." Offset, the timestamps, the calls, the way you switched up when the pressure hit. The mediators tried to keep things calm, but emotions ran too high. One of them, a veteran A&R who knew both since their early days, said, "Fellas, this ain't helping nobody, y'all destroying legacies that took years to build." But Offset slammed his hand on the table, saying, "Legacies my ass, this about respect and the code." You broke it, TJ, and now the whole game watching. TJ shot back immediately, respect, you want respect, but you've been moving funny ever since that 2022 situation got hot. I stayed solid even when they pressed me hard, I never dropped your name first. The room got hotter as old stories poured out. Offset reminded TJ of the night they shared a blunt in the studio talking about building an empire together, while TJ countered with memories of Offset canceling plans last minute when federal heat started circling. The personal stakes were crystal clear, both men had families watching from afar, Cardi pacing back home with the kids and TJAY's mother praying in New York that her son would come out of this unscathed. Fans outside had no idea what was happening inside, but the leaks started anyway. A short voice recording from the meeting slipped out, somehow capturing Offset saying, "I never folded completely, I protected what mattered," and TJ replying, "Protecting yourself ain't the same as being solid." That clip went mega viral within minutes, sending the internet into absolute chaos. Fans were shocked, saying they really in there going at it like this. Some called it necessary therapy for the culture, while others feared it would end in violence. The family was left completely divided, Offset's inner circle texting support and Cardi posting cryptic Bible verses, while TJAY's team rallied around him with messages of strength. Even Quavo broke his silence with a simple Instagram story of an old Migos photo captioned "Real recognize real," leaving everyone wondering where his loyalty truly landed. As the meeting dragged on, the twists kept coming. Lil Tjay pulled out printed transcripts from old interviews claiming they proved Offset had mentioned names under pressure. Offset countered by revealing bank records showing large transfers he made to TJ during tough times, calling them proof of genuine support, not guilt money. The mediators looked exhausted trying to separate facts from feelings, but the raw emotion made it nearly impossible. Offset opened up about the toll on his marriage, saying, "Cardi been holding me down through all this drama, and I ain't letting lies tear my family apart." TJ responded with his own vulnerability, admitting the accusations brought back trauma from his shooting days when trust became a matter of life and death. Both men had tears in their eyes at moments, the hardened street image cracking to show the human beings underneath fighting for their names, their futures, and their peace of mind. Outside the studio, the reactions were explosive. Popular rap podcasts went live, breaking down every leaked word, analyzing tones, and predicting outcomes. One host said this meeting either ends the beef or starts a whole new war. Fans flooded comment sections with divided opinions, Team Offset arguing TJ was ungrateful and Team TJ claiming Offset had always been calculated in his moves. The industry felt the shakeup as brand deals paused, collaborations got reevaluated, and even radio stations debated pulling their music temporarily. The betrayal ran deep because these were not just colleagues, they were supposed to be brothers in the game, bound by the same struggles and the same streets. Now that bond was tested in the most public way possible, with millions watching every development like a real-life reality show. The meeting ended without a clear winner, but with a tense handshake and a promise to release a joint statement later. As they walked out separately, Offset looked drained but determined, while TJ appeared fired up and ready for whatever came next. Cardi was waiting for Offset in the car, hugging him tight and whispering, "We got this, baby." On the other side, TJAY's sister picked him up, offering silent support as they drove away. The family drama continued behind closed doors, with late-night calls between relatives on both sides, some pushing for peace, others demanding full accountability. Insiders say Cardi and TJAY's mother even exchanged messages trying to shield the younger generation from the worst of the fallout. Yet the public feud showed no signs of slowing as both artists returned to their social media with subtle shots that kept the fire alive. That night, Offset dropped a new snippet of a song he had been working on, the lyrics cutting deep. "I stayed solid when the wolves came circling, never pointed fingers, never switched up." Lil Tjay responded hours later with his own teaser verse, saying, "Some talk loyalty but fold when the lights hit, real ones move different." The back and forth kept fans hooked, refreshing feeds constantly. The emotional conflicts were far from resolved, both men carrying scars from the accusations and the very public way they had aired their dirty laundry. The rap world felt changed forever, alliances questioned, reputations on the line, and the code of the streets now debated openly like never before. Friends who once partied together now found themselves awkwardly choosing sides or staying neutral, which only caused more tension. As the days passed after the meeting, new information continued to leak. An old studio session audio surfaced where both could be heard joking about staying away from certain situations, yet the tone suggested underlying worry about federal attention. Fans analyzed every second, picking sides with renewed energy. The personal stakes remained enormous, Offset fighting to protect his growing empire and blended family, while Lil Tjay battled to solidify his position as a trustworthy voice in a new generation of rappers. The unexpected twists kept the story alive, from surprise leaks to celebrity reactions and even a brief mention by a mainstream news outlet covering celebrity feuds. The drama had layers of betrayal, heated arguments, family involvement, and raw human emotion that made it impossible to look away. The hip-hop community stood at a crossroads, watching two talented artists navigate the consequences of their words and actions. Some elders called for unity, saying enough blood has been spilled in these streets already. Others stayed silent, knowing any comment could pull them into the storm. The families waited anxiously, hoping for de-escalation, while the fans remained passionately divided, creating fan pages and debate threads that ran thousands of comments deep. This beef had become more than music, it was a mirror reflecting the complicated realities of loyalty, trust, and survival in the game. Offset and Lil Tjay had laid everything on the line, their egos, their histories, and their futures all colliding in one sensational saga. The world continued to watch, captivated by the drama, wondering if reconciliation was possible or if this was the beginning of a permanent rift that would reshape careers for years to come. The emotions, the accusations, and the high personal stakes had turned this into one of the most talked about moments in recent rap history, and the final chapter was still being written. The fallout continued as both sides prepared their next moves, Offset focusing on new music to remind people of his dominance, and Tjay doubling down on authenticity in his upcoming releases. The rap game held its breath, knowing that one more twist could either heal the divide or deepen the wound forever. The story of Offset responding to Lil Tjay's snitch claim had become a full-blown cultural event filled with shocking revelations, heated confrontations, and the kind of family drama that kept everyone coming back for more. In the end, the truth remained elusive, but the entertainment value was undeniable as the beef exposed the fragile nature of trust when fame, fortune, and street credibility collided head-on. The saga pressed forward with no easy resolution in sight, leaving fans, artists, and families alike entangled in the ongoing web of betrayal and resilience that defined this explosive chapter in hip-hop. So what do you think, fam? Did Offset really snitch, or is Lil Tjay just flipping the script to save face? After all these years, the rap game will never be the same after this one explosive beef that dragged in families, old friends, leaked audios, secret meetings, and raw emotions that had millions glued to their screens night after night. We watched two heavyweights go head-to-head with accusations, flying betrayals cutting deep, and personal stakes higher than ever before. From Offset's fiery lives to Tjay's calm but deadly voice notes, from that tense studio showdown to the endless leaks that kept dropping like bombs, the drama exposed the fragile line between loyalty and survival in these streets, and nobody came out completely clean. Cardi standing strong by her man, Tjay's family riding hard, and the whole industry picking sides while fans argued in every comment section. This saga left us all with one big question: who really folded and who stayed solid? Or maybe both of them played the game smarter than we thought, and the real victims are the friendships and the trust that got shattered along the way. The unresolved tension is still thick in the air. Will they ever sit down again and squash this for real, or is another round of diss tracks and receipts about to drop and change everything once more? The families are still divided, the streets are still watching, and the rap world is holding its breath, waiting to see if this beef turns into a permanent war or a lesson in growth. Either way, this story proves that in hip-hop, one accusation can shake empires overnight, and the drama is far from over. Now I need to hear from you right now. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who are you riding with, Team Offset or Team Tjay? Tell me why, and don't hold back. Do you think the snitch claims are real or just clout chasing? Let me know your wildest theory about what really happened in 2022 and what you think happens next. Smash that like button if this drama had you locked in from the first second. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter, because trust me, this story ain't finished yet. More twists, more receipts, and more fire is coming your way. Share this video with every rap fan you know, and let's keep the conversation going, because your voice matters in this crazy culture we built together. Thank you for watching, fam. Stay solid, stay tuned.